This video is to go over how to compile a list of the population 65 years and older, and then to show that as labels on the map. So if we go up to our data window, I just want to give you a glance into the way that the demographics are currently set up. And the data window is the thing that looks like a calendar at the top next to the car. If we want to show this information by county, we can just click on our pull down list, and there's our counties listed there. In our data window, we can add demographics to this if we ever needed to export it out. But I'm just going to click on this More Data button to show you what demographics we have available at the county level. From this pull-down list on the left-hand side, we have demographic data, and you'll see all sorts of different years. What I want to show you is that if you want to aggregate the population 65 and older, we're going to have to take some of these ranges, and we're going to need to add them together. And we're going to create a new category called over 65. So I just wanted to bring you here just to see how currently the populations are broken up. So now if we want to create a new field with all of the entries above 65 and older, we're going to go to our map and data box, which should always be up on your screen. If you happen to close it, just look to the left hand side and you'll see a single blue arrow, and that'll make it pop back out. What we want to use is our counties layer if we want to show this data by county, and we want to click on this little settings gear, and the settings gear pops up when you move your mouse cursor over that counties line. And when you click on it, it pulls up a larger box called Manage Map and Data. From here you can do things like you can make a layer transparent if you wanted to see through it, but what we really care about here is labels. So I'm going to click on labels, and actually I apologize, we're going to go back to general. And we're going to use a button here called Manage Calculated Data Columns. We'll use labels in a moment, but first we need to create our compiled field. So I'm going to click Manage Calculated Data Columns, and we need to click the button that says Add Data Column. Next, we're going to scroll down until we get to our range starting at 65. I'm going to just click on it to highlight it. I'm going to hold down the shift button on my keyboard and press the down arrow until I get to 85 and older. We're going to bring all of these fields over to this box here. So I'm going to click this arrow to make them hop over. Now the next thing we need to do is give it a name. And so we go up to new column at the top, and I'm just going to call it pop over 65. We can click add data column, and that is now created our new field called population over 65. You'll notice that it's listed under calculated, and so that's where we're going to pull that information from and put it on the map, this new calculated field. So I'm going to close this with the red X, and then I'm going to click on labels. Next I'm going to click on format labels, and I'm going to click on this tab at the top that says auto labels. Auto labels is a static label that appears in the map below the county name. A custom label, just for your reference, is a little pop-up that appears when you hover your mouse over a different location. So we're going to leave it on auto labels. We're going to check the number 1 box, and from the pull-down list we're going to change it from demographic data to calculated. There's only one field within our calculated data category, and that's the one's population over 65. I'm going to type a prefix, and a prefix is just essentially like a title for this number so that somebody's not just looking at a blank number on the map and not knowing what it is. So I'm going to just type in pop over, actually let's shorten that up a little bit. We'll do pop 65 plus. So this will be the words that appear next to that number on the map. I'm going to click change labels, and now it's been assigned to this level. If I want to start seeing this data, I can close out of my Manage Map and Data box, and I can zoom in. I can either zoom in with my wheel on my mouse, or I can use the zoom tools in the top right. I use the ones right at the bottom the most. It's the US flag, which will zoom you out if you've zoomed in too far. It'll zoom you out to a national level. Then we also have the one right below it that's a magnifying glass. I use this all the time. So if we enable that, there's a little circle, red circle with a white X, and we know that's enabled. And let's say I want to concentrate on Ohio. I want to zoom in a little bit. So I'm going to start with my mouse cursor up in the top left corner of Ohio. I'm going to click and drag to the lower right and release it. And that's zoomed me way in on the map. Then if I'm at the zoom level that I want to be at, I could come back here and click on the little magnifying glass and deselect it. Or I can take it a little step further, draw another box. It'll make me come in closer. And then if I'm ready at that point, I can just click on the magnifying glass, makes that red circle with the white X go away. And now I'm left with my new fields. I can show my county, population 65 and over. And there we go. If you have any questions, please let us know. Thanks and have a great day.